This program is made by MPT to serve all of our diverse communities and is made possible by the generous support of our members. Thank you.
So which side is the gas tank on?
There's no fuel tank, there's no engine, there's just a big battery that powers the vehicle.
What kind of gas mileage does it get?
Again, it is a 100% all-electric vehicle, so there is no gas mileage per se. The EPA has an estimate of 100 miles to a gallon equivalent.
So what do they call the gas pedal?
The gas pedal will be called the electric accelerator. If you can help me find a gas tank on an all-electric vehicle, I'd love to see it.
Where's the tailpipe on this thing?
There's no emissions, so there's no need for a tailpipe. There is not one on this vehicle.
If you run out of gas, what do you do?
If you run out of the charge, Nissan has a complimentary towing service that'll take you to the nearest charging destination for free.
Why would anybody buy this car?
You wouldn't happen to have one of these in black, would you? I've never considered myself much of a risk taker, but I've wanted an electric car since I was like 7 years old, and it took me 40 years to get to the point where I could actually buy one.
I really thought we were just looking at the electric car, but knowing my husband, I knew that we weren't coming home the same day with one because that's just not the kind of person that he is. 3 hours later, when we were signing the papers, I was a little bit concerned.
I love it because I don't have to put gasoline in it, and it only adds about $58 a month to our electric bill. You know, we've had this car for 3 months now, and I drive it every day. Every day to work, to the grocery store to visit friends and family, and now I think I'm ready to sort of push the envelope.
Already he wants to do something more than a little crazy with it.
Operating room, Kathy.
So now he wants to take this car on a long road trip.
The electric car?
Yeah, I know.
And you have some long extension cord to plug in at all the rest stops?
Every day I hear somebody say something new about the electric car.
Electricity has much less of an impact on global climate change than burning fossil fuels in your car.
Why would anybody want to pay $4 a gallon for gas? I can see the gasoline engine fading away.
This is too big to stop. The writing's on the wall.
This is something that we have seen and grown up with in comics, and now it's part of reality.
But the thing is, it's the right thing to do.
But the only way we can find out how much of that's really true is to hit the road to test both the car and the EV infrastructure across the state.
Frankly, I thought we were going to Ireland for our summer vacation. That's what I was expecting.
There are 10,000 gasoline pumps across the state of Maryland, but just 300 EV charging stations. So it's not going to be easy. But you know what? I still think it's time to take an electric road trip.
Major funding for Electric Road Trip was provided by BGE.
What does smart energy mean to you?
It means new technologies to help me manage energy use and save.
It means providing the energy we need for tomorrow. It means energy delivery we can count on.
Smart energy is making a difference here in Central Maryland. With BGE and you working together, energy is getting smarter every day.
Additional funding was provided by the Maryland Energy Administration. Lowering energy consumption and saving money go hand in hand. Find out how to do both. Visit Maryland Energy Administration at energy.maryland.gov.
Well, an amazing breakfast here at the Oak and Apple Bed and Breakfast here in Oakland, Maryland. And today, it's Monday morning, and we are getting ready to head out across the state of Maryland. We've been trickle charging the car all night long by plugging it into an outlet behind the house. So when we get out there, hopefully we'll be ready to go.
As near as we can tell, we're the first people to ever try to drive a 100% fully electric vehicle from Western Maryland here in Oakland all the way across the state to Ocean City, Maryland, using just the electrical infrastructure that's there. Check this out. We had magnets, car magnets made up for our trip, the electric road trip, but check this out. Not metal.
I'm looking forward to it. I think, the mountains are going to be a challenge, but hopefully if we have it mapped out correctly, if you've got it mapped out correctly,
let's hope.
We shouldn't get left with the car. I think we'll be good.
And we're going to see if we can do it kind of like, John Q. Citizen can do it. We don't have any special crew with us. We don't have a generator with us. We don't have people that are going to come and pick us up if we get in trouble. So we're just going to see if we can try to make our way across the state using the infrastructure that's there right now. Metal. A lot of these cars here are from like the early 1900s. What was it like to travel back then by automobile?
Well, I wasn't around in the early 1900s, unless you consider 1929 early. But in those days, early automobiles suffered from a lack of suitable roads. Most of the roads in Garrett County, for instance, were dirt roads and subject to the vagaries of the weather. Now, I don't know the history of the service stations, but obviously they would have sprung up in response to the increase in the number of automobiles. If you carried extra fuel in cans, you could go much further, but it was a real adventure to go any place.
Here we are, we're getting ready to start our journey. We'll zero the trip meter. Looks like we got 101 miles on the charge, so we're off to Mount Savage.
We're getting ready to drive an electric vehicle across the state. What do you think our chances are?
Well, I think you're going to have a great time.
We thought a great place to start our trip would be here at the Oakland train station in downtown Oakland, because it shows how important infrastructure was to the railroad back in the 1800s.
The railroad was very important to the town of Oakland. As a matter of fact, the B&O Railroad had actually purchased some land and laid out 64 lots, I believe it was, for the development of the town. So the town really developed a lot because of the railroad. So infrastructure is extremely important, and you have to keep up to date. We had infrastructure in place, ready to go. So it has been very important.
So we're taking an electric car from Oakland, Maryland, all the way to Ocean City, Maryland. What do you think our chances are?
I think I would give you a 90-10. 90% chance you'll make it. If you get stuck, you let me know. We'll come get you.
We might take you up on that.
What do you think, babe? You think we'll make it?
I think we'll make it. We got 101 miles. What could go wrong?
Well, there's supposed to be severe weather for the next couple of days. So let's hope we don't run into any of that. Goodbye, Oakland. Wish us luck. How you doing?
Doing good. How about yourself?
We are getting ready to drive an electric vehicle all the way across the state of Maryland from Oakland to Ocean City.
Wow.
I need a hat to get us through Garrett County because I think this hat's a little boring.
All right.
You got anything you recommend?
There you go. Up here in the front.
Oh, great.
We're driving to Ocean City. It's going to take us a while, of course, because we have to charge all the time.
Right.
Have you ever driven from here to Ocean City?
Yes, I have. It's normally a 6-hour drive from one end of the state to the other.
It's probably going to take us 6 days.
Yeah,
I'm pretty
definitely. Sure. Oh, I win. Well, good luck to you.
Well, you have to get a little used to driving in the mountains. Here, it's kind of down the hill, up the hill. You get better gas mileage from here back towards Baltimore than you do coming up here.
Okay, that's 6082.
Her electric cars are pretty reliable. Yeah. So, good luck to you.
I finally have a hat for our Garrett County leg of the journey. Accident. Let's hope that's not a harbinger of things to come. We gotta get you a hat.
You know what? I'm good.
You think?
I'm good.
Okay, we are in eco mode, and hopefully in eco mode we will save some miles. We want to conserve as much electricity as we can so we can get to Mount Savage. Boy, this hill is deceptive. It doesn't look like it's a big hill when you first approach it.
I know.
Okay, we're going to get on the interstate here, 68 east to Cumberland. See how she handles highway speeds. Alternate Route 40 right now. Little Savage Mountain, 2,810 feet. You're crossing these hills, Sparky. Nice big long hill down in the crossroads. And we're just racking up the miles here. Click, 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 click. Adding miles as we coast down this hill.
Now this would be a great place for a charging station. Get something to eat, go to the library, maybe the bookstore, have a nice walk down Main Street. Maybe someday.
I think this is it. The castle.
The castle.
It looks like a castle, doesn't it?
It does. That's beautiful.
Wow, very nice. I guess this is where we're supposed to park.
I guess so.
Very cool. Okay, let's see if this works. Yep, we have a charge.
Now, I think, the problem people have is they have this idea that the electric car is something really weird looking, and this is just a car. It's normal. No different than anything else you see on the road. It's quiet. I can't believe how quiet the thing is. It just fascinates me.
How about a wheat toast?
Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
To completing the first leg of our journey from Oakland
To Mount Savage. Well, we did 51 miles yesterday. What are we looking at today?
Well, today I'm hoping that we get to Berkeley Springs and beyond.
Okay.
So it's kind of unknown.
Did you sleep?
You know, the place is supposedly haunted. So once I heard that kind of did me in. I noticed that every time I woke up, I was afraid that something would be standing at the foot of the bed. Kept all my limbs under the blankets because I didn't want anybody to touch me or grab me.
No close encounters.
No, not close.
Too bad, no close encounters. All the ghosts are sleeping better than we were.
That's a pretty cool bridge.
This is the Narrows. This is a place where the road, the train, and the river all come between the mountains. Welcome to Cumberland.
We've got a lot of bridges.
Did you have anywhere you want to stop?
Well, I've always wanted to go to Millicent's Yarns and More.
Yarns.
My yarny sense is tingling.
This is going to take a while. I feel like I should be charging somewhere.
Those are colors that you know.
Yeah, I think that like the main color, you need 800.
Is that your cat?
That's Stanley.
Wonderful.
I'm here.
Oh, what's the damage?
It's on sale. That nice?
Yeah.
I love those colors.
That means you can do some knitting on the trip.
I hope so. To make a shawl.
We'll have time, I think.
I think so.
Downtown Cumberland, this would be a really good place for an electric car charging station. You got a lot of shops, you got attractions, bookstores.
And a museum. Visit the train station.
You can plug in here for 2 hours and...
right near the canal.
Exactly, wander around. All kinds of fun stuff to do. You know, it looks like we got a storm chasing us. I don't know if it's going to catch us or not.
Probably when we're charging.
Right.
I keep seeing gas stations thinking we should be stopping sometime soon. I keep having to remind myself that we're in the all-electric car.
It's kind of the point where I don't even look to see how much it costs per gallon anymore, gasoline. It's amazing how quick you stop looking.
Yeah, yeah.
Well, this is the long hill coming up past Rocky Gap. We're going to pass these guys in an electric vehicle just for the fun of it. So for people that are worried an electric car doesn't have what it takes to survive on an interstate, we're good. We are good. Why do people come to Tony's Butcher Block?
Because our food is awesome.
What's your favorite sub?
Italian, cheesesteak, ham and cheese.
Just a bag of chips.
$21.77.
Did you see that? That was another Nissan Leaf just passed.
I did. It was an older couple in it.
I don't know who it is. Maybe we can catch him. Don't want to scare him though. He just stopped. I'm gonna see if I can catch him. Hey, how you doing? You got a second?
Oh, sure.
Hey, we saw you driving and we wanted to catch up with you because we were the first Nissan Leaf that we saw since we started the trip.
Well, I'm glad to talk to you.
What do you think about this car? Do you like it?
It's wonderful.
Do you have a second? Can we chat?
Absolutely.
Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you.
This is my wife, Novia.
Hi, Novia.
Tell me about the car. Why did you get it?
We got the car in January. We like it because it goes everywhere we need to go. We live 20 miles out of town. Most of our mileage is coming into town, doing what we need in town, and then going back home. This is perfect for it.
Our son-in-law, who works for Microsoft, his wife came out here, who is our daughter, and visited us and said, he needs one of these cars. Why? Because he just drives back and forth to work.
We can go across the river to Hancock if we need to for the doctor and different things. So it gets us everywhere we need to go. It's easy, it's quiet, we don't use gas, and everybody's amazed, and we get lots and lots of questions.
But the thing is, it's the right thing to do.
I think it's down here on the left.
Okay.
I hope we can plug in.
Okay.
I feel like we're kind of in the middle of nowhere here. Looks like it's gonna rain too. Mountain View Solar. Awesome. Want some water?
Hey, thanks.
I think it's going to take about 4 hours to charge here to get us moving on.
Mm-hmm. That's all right.
We have 3 charging stations here and 3 electric cars. At each of our homes, we have solar panels. We are driving exclusively on solar power.
A typical day for me, I drive about 10 miles from my home to the office. When I get here, I'll plug in, and within an hour, the vehicle will have a full charge again. I've actually had days where I've driven 110 or 120 miles, and it's been all electric because of appropriately timed charges. So one of our goals is to help build out that infrastructure.
These stations are being put in not just by us, but every state's got an initiative. It's coming from the private sector just as fast as it's coming from the municipalities. Our installation of these is coming straight from a market standpoint. We're selling them. There's no incentive on the charger. We just sell them to encourage people to buy the car. We tie it into solar every time we put it in.
It almost was a eureka moment as soon as we got one of these cars and realized that the infrastructure had to be built, and if we tied it with solar, that would be simply the most efficient way for any person to run their vehicle.
This is our organic garden, and it's right here in front of Mountain View Solar. Everybody in our company can get vegetables whenever they want, of course, and we do all organic because none of us really like the chemicals and stuff that they use for store-bought stuff. Would you guys like some tomatoes?
Electric vehicles are here to stay.
This is too big to stop. Every major manufacturer of automobiles globally has got not a concept car, but a production car coming. And the quickest way for us to get people excited about it is to have a very basic conversation about how much money they spend for gasoline, and I tell them how much money I'm not spending. And that gets them to pay attention.
Here you go, I got a bag of our tomatoes. And if you set them in your windowsill at your house, they'll ripen in a couple days, so.
Oh, lovely. Thank you.
We have 3 level 2 charging stations here that are all listed on PlugShare. We would like anybody to know that you're free to come by and plug in anytime, whether we're here or not.
How much do you charge? It's got to be a lot, right?
Yeah, we charge it a whole lot. It's absolutely nothing.
Well, now that we've got internet service here, we can use the iPad and plugshare.com to try to find the closest charging stations. And as we head east, there's going to be more and more available. And it looks to me like the next place that we can plug in to get some electrons is Hamilton Nissan in Hagerstown. So that's where we're headed.
It says we make a right on All-Star Court.
Looks like there's a few hotels around here if we want to end up spending the night. There's a Hagerstown hotel. So we have to see if Nissan will let us charge, and if they do, maybe we'll spend the night here in Hagerstown. What is it, 6 o'clock?
Yeah.
It's 6:15. Hopefully we have some folks here.
And they're willing to share.
And hey, check it out. There is a charging station.
13 miles to spare.
13 miles left on the counter here.
Here at Hamilton Nissan in Hagerstown, Maryland on the dual highway, we have a total of 3 charging stations, and we are the westernmost charging station in Maryland. Most of my customers are a little concerned of what if I run out of power, what happens then? Am I going to be able to make it as far as where I need to go for my errands and things of that nature? So once we have the power grid up and you can charge quickly, I think you'll find a lot more people interested.
And is it okay if we leave the car here to charge for a while?
Certainly.
Traveling light means I bring every bag with me, every time.
Apparently there's 2 charging stations here at Frederick Community College. We have 49 miles left on our battery, so we don't really have to charge too much, but we just want to check them out and see if they're up and running. Frederick Community College North entrance. Now that we're in the middle of the state, we have a lot more options as to where we can charge. Still not enough, but there's a little bit less anxiety here in the middle of the state as far as where you can charge.
Says 2 available, 0 in use.
Oh, there they are, right over there.
We had some difficulty finding the station, so we found them, and so I'm just moving the pin that was on PlugShare to put it to a more accurate location. You know, one of the things you can do on PlugShare is review these sites yourself, and I think I'm going to give it a positive review. I'm able to charge easily on Station 2. Anyone can review charging stations on PlugShare that way. That's what's so beautiful about it. So we've been charging for 30 minutes now, and we received 1.73 kilowatt hours of charge. That's excellent.
After charging at Frederick Community College, we now have 57 miles on our battery, more than enough to get us to Ligonor wine cellars. Hey, in eco mode, we've got 63 miles. Well, we're really excited to see this place because apparently they have a solar powered charging station at this winery. So let's see if it's up and running today. It's a bright sunny day. If there was going to be a day for a solar panel to work, it would be today.
It's grapevine.
This would appear to be it.
Well, you're at Ligonor Wine Cellars. Back in November, we put in a tracking solar unit connected to 2 SemiConnect Class 2 vehicle chargers. They're set up RFID free, so the electric is free, because I figure it's just coming in from the sun. The neat thing about operating an EV charger at a winery is that the same sun that's giving me the sugar in the grapes, giving me the ability to do what we do here as a winery, is now also producing fuel for cars down the road. And that's just cool.
You would want to take a test drive in the car.
Absolutely.
Really? All right,
yeah,
let's go. Okay. Get our seatbelt on.
Wow, there's a lot of room in here.
And here's what you do. Punch that button, that'll turn it on. And then wait until it fires up.
Wow, this is gorgeous. Holy cow.
I don't need toys to be happy in life.
Right?
But I got to tell you, every time I drive this car, it puts a huge smile on my face.
Holy cow, this is cool.
Total will be $40.
So many things that have come out of the imagination. This is something that we've seen and grown up with in comics, and now it's part of reality. George Jetson meets the real world.
It's about 4 o'clock on Wednesday afternoon, and we're now in Garrett County. And we're just south of Westminster, looking for our next place to plug in and charge. We've got about 31 miles left on the battery in eco mode, so we don't really have to stop and charge. I don't know. We're collecting charging stations today. We're trying to plug into as many as we can.
If it's on the way, it can't hurt.
Actually, what's great about this location is there's a fast food restaurant, a Chinese restaurant, a pizza restaurant, a grocery store, and a hotel. So we could plug in here and spend the entire night at the Best Western across the street. This is a really good choice of a place to put an electric charging station. We charged at 4 charging stations today, and we've just plugged into our last one here at the College Square Shopping Center, and we got subs for dinner. Hey, I hear you're the guy that had these charging stations installed. Thank you very much.
You're very welcome. We're glad that you're hooked up to them.
Now, how long have these stations been here?
They've been here just about 2 years. Our sustainability initiative in Black Oak goes back about 10 years. What can we do in the environment to make a difference? And College Square is one of our test places. One of the things that, in theory, we think is that we can make as much of an impact on this planet by making our centers energy efficient.
How many electric cars did you see in this area before these were installed?
1.
So, how do you take that leap of faith in 2011 when there's like almost no cars out there to start building the infrastructure?
We will try things that are different, that are going to cost money, that may not have a great payback, but might make a difference. We look at doing whatever we can to help our centers and our merchants be successful. If somebody's plugging in their vehicle and they're shopping at College Square, that's great.
So my wife and I are driving across the state totally on electrons. You think we're going to make it?
You're absolutely going to make it.
Thanks. We'll call you if we don't. Thanks, man.
All right.
Well, here we are, morning of day 4. Getting ready to head out on the road. Trying to get all the bird poop off the car from last night. I think the birds are part of the large petrochemical conspiracy to pick on electric vehicles. One poop at a time.
Where are we headed?
Today I want to plug into as many charging stations as we can. We're in the middle of the state, and there's a lot of free public electric charging stations. So today I want to do what they call opportunity charging, which is take the opportunity to plug into as many of these free charging stations as possible.
Right. Good. Cool. Are we going to get across the bay?
If we have a really good day driving, we'll make it to Annapolis. If we have an awesome day driving, we may in fact cross the Bay Bridge today. But you know, I don't want to do that when I'm tired. I'm not a huge fan of driving across that bridge. So.
I know. I'll do it.
Really? You'll drive?
Yeah, I'll drive.
All right. I may take you up on driving across that bridge because I'm not a fan of doing it when I'm awake, and when I'm tired, that's even worse.
All right. Knit Map says that there's a yarn store right over here.
A yarn store?
Yeah, probably just past this bridge. Go left here.
You want to stop?
Can we? Just 5 minutes?
In Cumberland, it was 2 hours.
That
Dave.
wasn't on purpose, though. All right, 15 minutes.
15? I don't think you've ever been at a yarn store for 15 minutes.
It won't be more than 30.
Oh, so cute.
Oh. Under 15 minutes.
We're driving through the valley where they have the Maryland Hunt Cup, and this is this beautiful steeplechase and box hunting country. We're headed through the valley here to try to make it to Mom's Market in Timonium, where we believe they have a couple of charging stations. It's getting so hot the cameras are overheating and cutting off, so hopefully we'll have enough footage today. And actually the corn looks like it's doing okay.
Not bad.
Most of the country's in drought right now, but the valley is green. And there's Mom's Market in Timonium. Now we just got to find the charging station. There's a couple people parked in there that are not electric vehicles.
Oh, interesting. I mean, not that it's like handicapped parking spots, but, you know, if you need to charge, you need to charge.
Well, all right, let's try this one.
I don't think people are really in tune to it yet.
I don't think they realize.
Yeah. This is a charge point card. For some of these, you need this, but as of right now, it's still free.
Mom's Organic Market is a natural organic grocery store. I think 3 of our 8 stores have charging stations. All the charges here at Mom's are free. People just need to have their charge point. Our main focus is to preserve and restore the environment while providing really great natural and organic foods.
Here's what's really cool about these charge point charging stations. They actually send you a text when you're done charging. So, and this one says, charge suspended due to plug out. And in other words, it's letting me know that I am plugged. So if I was in the store and somebody unplugged me, it would let me know by text. Isn't that cool? That's some neat technology. We're coming into White Marsh, and we're looking for a couple of charging stations.
Right around the corner. We just passed them.
Okay.
To the right. To the right. It's registering 90 degrees right now, but it is hot out there. It's humid.
Let's see, is there any shade? No.
You got the windows down.
We could put the air conditioning on.
Easily.
But we're being a little selfish.
Being frugal.
Yeah.
So that we can reduce the number of hours that we have to park here.
There's a Walgreens south of Baltimore on Ordnance Road, I think, on Ritchie Highway.
Okay.
And if we're close enough to that, we'll just charge here for a couple minutes.
Yeah.
And then move on. And that way we'll get through the Harbor Tunnel before rush hour today. Boy, it is hot. It is now 97 degrees outside. Just, how much humidity was it? What did it say this morning? 60%?
60% humidity.
60, 70%.
This morning
humidity.
it was, yeah.
All right, so we're looking for a Walgreens. Walgreens has been awesome around the country installing EV chargers. And so we're looking for one down here off of Ordnance Road. Is that what it is?
Ordnance Road. West Ordnance Road.
West Ordnance Road. Again, this is not a location we've scouted ahead of time. So we're hoping...
It better be.
We're hoping it's there because we're down to 29 miles here on the battery.
Well, the good thing is that up and down Ritchie Highway, there are about 4 or 5 Walgreens in the area, just in Glen Burnie alone, that are reportedly have charging stations.
It's like a treasure hunt, trying to find these things. Well, we'll get a nice cold drink at Walgreens. What do you say? charged for about an hour and 9 minutes here at Walgreens. We're up to 50 miles on the battery now, which should be more than enough to get to Annapolis. Ooh. Just cold. Woo. Okay, air conditioning going on. Ooh, that feels good. It was 96 in the shade back at the Walgreens. Now the dashboard says it's 101 outside. We've just turned on the air conditioning here, and it hasn't been too bad. We had 50 miles on the battery. We just turned on the air conditioning and it dropped to 44. So that's not too bad, 6 miles. All along Route 2, there's a number of Walgreens that have electric charging stations. This is a route with a lot of infrastructure. Crossing the Severn River, right by the Naval Academy here in Annapolis. Ooh, it's bright. Still 93 degrees outside. So far today, we've driven about 82.5 miles. Started in Westminster, and here we are in Annapolis.
Why don't we try to get this one down here at the Chesapeake Bay Foundation? It says they're only open till 5, but I think that we can make it.
It's like quarter of now.
Yeah, at least we get a little bit.
Yeah, we'll check it out.
Good.
It's kind of nice in here.
It's beautiful with the trees over it.
Yeah.
It's a relief after all the heat.
That's a cool building.
That is a cool building.
Keep an eye out.
Oh, here's a Prius. Ah, there's a Volt.
There's a Volt.
There's a charger.
Yep. Very nice.
Okay, charging at 3.7 kilowatts. Excellent. So we're here at the Chesapeake Bay Foundation. What's the environmental impact or benefit to having an electric vehicle?
Well, listen, the reason I drive an electric car is because there's huge benefit. When you burn a fossil fuel to move a car, that's the least efficient way to use a fossil fuel. When you use electricity generated by a single source power plant, that's much less of a carbon footprint. It's easier to control the emissions from a power plant, a single source, than it is from a very inefficient internal combustion engine. And if you're like me, we get our electricity from wind sources. You can check the box on your energy provider and get an energy source that is wind generated, and that's no emissions.
Whenever we plug in, we always get somebody say, you know, you're just using coal power. That's not really green. It's not really helping the environment.
Well, in terms of miles per energy unit, you're getting much less pollution from an electric car than from a gas-fired car. And I always tell people, whenever you have an internal combustion engine burning fuel, it puts nitrogen oxide into the atmosphere. And that comes back down as nitrogen pollution into the bay.
So I hear that you have a Chevy Volt. Do you like it?
I do. I love my Volt. And what's not to like about it? For about $1.10, I'm getting 45 miles. You can't do that with a gas engine. It's a great car. It goes fast. It does everything a car does. But boy, is it economical.
We've been driving across the state for the past few days, and the one thing that we definitely know is there's a need for more infrastructure.
When I first got my electric car, I always was able to plug in when you go to a garage that has charging stations. Now it seems like they're all used up. We need more of them. We need more charging stations all over the state and all over the country. But I see it coming.
Thanks for talking with us, and thanks for letting us charge, too.
We were thinking about spending the night right down here in old historic Annapolis, but I don't know, we're thinking about pushing on because the Bay Bridge is going to be a huge mess tomorrow. So if we can get across the bridge today on a Thursday, it'll probably be...
We'll have a better chance.
Yeah, exactly. Here we go.
Oh, they're straight ahead.
Oh, cool. Very nice.
And again, they're the SemaConnect Charge Pro, which I don't think we said yet, but that's a Maryland company.
Yeah, I think it's based here in Annapolis.
You must be the first people I've ever seen that have an electric car that have come into this bar. I think it's a wonderful idea.
All right, we need to decide, are we staying the night or going across the bridge?
Well, I just drank this huge cider, so if we're crossing the bridge, you're going to have to be doing the driving.
Okay, well, this is just ginger ale, so I'm good to go.
We can stay here at the O'Callahan. It's this great hotel. It's literally across the street from the electric charging station. We can stay here.
I'd just as soon get through the traffic. get over the bridge and past the traffic.
Well, I'm pretty burned out. If you're willing to drive, I say, let's do it.
Okay, deal.
Well, you should come back and do it again in 5 years and see how much infrastructure has happened in that time period.
Excellent. Thank you very much. Thanks again for driving me.
It's okay.
I am burned out.
$6. You got it?
I got it.
Thank you. Fine, thanks. Thank you.
Wikipedia says this bridge was built in 1952, and then the one over to the left was added in 1973. It's 4.3 miles.
Believe Wikipedia?
If my students found out I was using Wikipedia, they'd be upset with me.
I'm sure.
Rightfully so.
Rightfully so. I do like bridges.
I like bridges. I just don't like really tall bridges and really long bridges.
I just think they're amazing. It's like flying, It's just a marvel, a modern marvel that people could, in their brains, come up with the plans to build something like this that can span across water.
Yeah, I can only imagine how much it cost to build this bridge back in 1952. It's a huge piece of infrastructure. I mean, if they only spent a fraction of that on infrastructure for electric vehicles, just imagine how we could really improve the EV charging stations throughout the state.
We're going to have to charge again, right?
According to PlugShare, there's a charging station on Kent Island. It's about 9 o'clock on Thursday night, and we're doing a little night charging. We haven't done any of that yet. We're here at Nexus Energy Homes on Kent Island, and as you can see, they got the charging stations open 24 hours a day, totally free. They have a little bit of lightning going on out there.
Heat lightning.
Heat lightning. We figure we'll sit here for a half an hour or so, do a PlugShare update and a review of this thing. Wow, look at all those free electrons. 1.1 gigawatts! There's just so much humidity in the air that all the lights look blurred. It's so humid. Bet we could charge real quick if we could plug in one of those Back to the Future sticks in the back of our car.
I had to repack a cooler because my husband filled it with ice without thinking about the water that would melt on a 100-degree day. And of course, the whole back seat got wet, but it's okay, Sparky's tough. Blah!
That was the largest bug I've seen in a long time.
What was it?
It's not on you. It's not on you. It's gone.
God doesn't like ugly.
Friday morning. This is going to be a day for 100s. It's going to be a near 100-degree day, and right now we're exactly 100 miles from the boardwalk in Ocean City. We don't know how long it's going to take us to get there in this heat. Plus, we're beyond the EV infrastructure for the state, for most of it. So we're going to have to trickle charge somewhere along the way to get us to Salisbury, which is where the next level 2 chargers are. And we just want to remind everybody that if you're going to trickle charge somewhere, you want to call ahead of time to ask. Don't assume you can plug in somewhere just because someone else has already done it. So call ahead, check it out. It takes a lot of planning if you're going to try to do a long trip like this. We're coming into downtown Easton here, and we are going to look for a place to charge. The lady at the Tourism Museum said that we could plug in there to trickle charge.
Harrison Street.
Okay. We've got the Avalon Theater, we've got Banning's Restaurant, we have a yarn store, all kinds of stuff to do. This would be a perfect place for a charging station. The dash temperature says 99 degrees. My goodness. I can't help but wonder what that's doing to the batteries.
I'm past glowing.
Exactly. Okay, so that is the visitor center. Let's pull around behind. When you have an electric car, you get really good at sort of looking for outside electrical plugs. There's one right there.
Like one.
So you know what? We will pull in the shade here, pop some money into the meter, and spend 3 hours in Easton. I just wanted to mention that we tried a couple of outlets to plug the car into, and none of them worked because there's a lot of old wiring here in town. And the one that worked is underneath the Church of the Miraculous, which I think that's awesome. 3 hours ought to do it.
So thanks again for letting us charge out back. We're going to be here for a few hours. Is there anything you can recommend that we do?
Here's the thing about Easton that a lot of people miss. They go zooming by on Route 50 and they don't realize that just a few blocks off of the highway is this marvelous little town founded in 1710 with brick sidewalks. You can park your car and set off on foot. It's a wonderful, walkable community. We have the Historical Society, the county courthouse is here, and wonderful shops. We have the Academy Art Museum that you can just spend a few hours at. We have marvelous art galleries. In fact, we're considered one of the best arts communities in the nation.
I used to call myself a wildlife artist. Now I'm an artist who paints what inspires him. And I live in a really, really beautiful part of the world, a little treasure, the eastern shore of Maryland. As an artist, painting it and being inspired by it, the other side is realizing just how delicate the ecosystem is and how easily damaged it is. And if, cutting down on gas and bringing in electric cars, if that was to help the situation, absolutely fantastic.
So have you seen any electric cars in Easton?
Well, we're talking Eastern Maryland here, and we're perhaps a little behind the times, but I do think the culture is changing. Everybody has electronic devices, iPods and various computers that it's second nature now, just to stick it in, charge it up. And I think the culture has changed. I think people will be very, very happy to do that. Yeah, absolutely, I can see it.
It's just truly amazing. It's different. It's to see a car with no gas. You don't have to use no oil. I think maybe in the next 10 years, I think eventually everyone will have one. If I had the money, I'd actually purchase one.
So what did you get this time?
Oh, I just went to Yards and Company. I did some show and tell of my own yards, and I made a little purchase.
Excellent. Come on, let's get moving to Salisbury.
We really only use less than 50 cents of electricity, but all we have is a $5 bill.
Okay, it's the moment of truth. We've been trickle charging for about 3 hours. Let's see what we got. We're 65 miles, and then in eco mode we have 72. More than enough to get us to Salisbury. Coming into Salisbury, Maryland, and we've got about 10 miles left on the battery. How close do you think we are to a charging station?
Share says we're 2.9 miles away.
Okay, that's a long stretch between charging stations. Between Kent Island and Salisbury, there's nothing. If the visitor centers folks hadn't let us trickle charge, I don't think we would have made it.
Not in this heat, anyway. I think the heat has something to do with the loss of mileage that we've been experiencing.
Driving very conservatively here to not waste a lot of electricity. It's almost 4:30 in the afternoon and it's still 95 degrees outside, according to the thermometer on the dashboard. How many miles now?
2.4. Just now
there it says Salisbury University. Cool. Yeah. It says Purdue School of Business right there.
Are you serious?
Yep. I'm gonna hang a Look for signs.
It doesn't tell us what this street is.
My spidey sense tells me this isn't right.
It is going to branch off.
Let's just go down to Campbell just in case.
Okay. I guess it's a spread out campus.
Oh, is this a dead end? Nice.
I could have told you it was a dead end.
Johnny's burning up miles driving down to dead ends. All right, let's go.
You're going to turn right onto this.
Huh? Here?
Not here. The names seem to change. Go straight.
This can't be right.
Go straight.
All right.
You have to indicate quickly to let them know. There it is. Oh, somebody's plugged in. Oh, good. And there's more than one. Thank God.
No way. Is that a leaf? Woo! Made it with 7 miles.
Wow.
7 miles. Let's hope it works. We pulled in here with about 7 miles left on the battery.
Really?
Oh, it was flashing at us.
You could be sitting on the side of the road somewhere waiting for some farmer to come tow you to his house with his tractor.
We're actually ahead of schedule. We're kind of surprised we're here at Salisbury and it's Friday night. I didn't think that was going to happen.
Let's see, you're going from Salisbury to Ocean City, and how far are you from your hotel?
Hi, I was just calling to check to see if you had availability.
It's been really tough to plan to book hotels because we don't know how long is it going to take to charge, in the heat, how long will the batteries work, and so far we're ahead of schedule, but who knows what's going to happen tomorrow.
It's for 2 adults.
And like I said, if you need anything, just call me.
All right, thanks, man. Bye.
Bye.
That's a bargain. And I'll take it.
That's very cool. We're going to be here for a while, plugged into charge. Maybe we'll find out who owns it. Maybe we'll get a chance to chat with them.
We ordered it in November, and it came in just at the end of January. So February 1st is when we got it. And we've enjoyed it. I mean, it's pretty much everything they said it is.
So you guys live in Salisbury. Do you ever take this down to Chrisfield?
Yeah. Every weekend we go down to Chrisfield and get a bushel of crabs and enjoy them with friends. And, it's going to enjoy them with you. You want to get a picture of those bad boys quickly?
Okay, here's the deal. We don't even know who this guy is. We just jumped in his car because he had an electric vehicle.
And a trunkload of crap.
And we don't even know his name. Richard?
Tom, I think. Tom.
Tom.
We put 50 panels. It's 11.25 kilowatts. And it covers 100% of our need, and actually we'll be in a position to sell back. And my thinking was we were only going to do it once, so I wanted to maximize what we could get, on this roof. Right now it's running, everything in the house. From the car, we charge the car with it.
On your solar power.
We run the hot tub with it, everything. So it's really been a win-win for us. Nephews and my niece and sister-in-law are coming over around 5:30.
Well, we just met some great people, had an awesome meal, and thought maybe we should work off some of that food. And now we're walking down Route 13 to check into the hotel that Novia scored for us. So, looks like we're going to be sleeping in air conditioning tonight, which is a good thing. It's Saturday morning, about 10:30 a.m., and we are heading out of Salisbury. It's 85 degrees, and we only have about 30 miles to go before we finally hit the beach. One of the bummers is, according to PlugShare, there's absolutely no charging stations in Ocean City. Not even a home charging station. So it would be nice with just one level 2 charger. People could drive their electric cars here, charge overnight, and then head home. So any thoughts as we approach Ocean City?
It's been a challenge at times, but it hasn't been as hard as I thought it would be.
There needs to be more infrastructure, and once there's more infrastructure, it'll be easier to make the journey.
I agree. I don't think it's a journey maybe that most people would make right now just for leisure, but they might try to do it for a challenge.
Right.
And there are those kind of people just like you out there.
Not you?
Well, I'm just married to a challenge. I don't necessarily seek out challenge.
I can't help but think how just 6 more charging stations across Maryland would allow people to get from Oakland all the way to Ocean City in about a third of the amount of time it took us. They need a level 2 charger in Oakland, Maryland, in Cumberland, Maryland, in Hancock, Maryland, in Hagerstown, Maryland, one in Easton, and one in Ocean City. And if you did that, you could actually open up EV tourism. I mean, I got to tell you, there were times I was pretty concerned when we were driving through the mountains in western Maryland.
Yes.
I was like, are we going to make it up some of those hills? But we met all kinds of nice people along the way who, some let us trick or charge.
Very
helpful, very encouraging. I keep on hearing media folks saying things like, nobody wants the electric car, nobody's interested in it. And yet just about everybody we ran across was fascinated by it. Curious and said, hey, maybe I should get one of these. I only drive like 10 miles a day.
It's true. It's true.
And I got to say, there's another thing that's been encouraging about this trip. I mean, I really feel like most people are trying. We were at a restaurant last night and there was a paper towel dispenser, and on the paper towel dispenser it said, remember where these come from. And I was like, that's in a restaurant. They don't have to do that.
Yeah.
And the hotel we stayed in said, would you be willing to reuse these towels for another day to be more environmentally friendly?
Right.
And we saw recycling bins all over Salisbury University. There are these tiny encouraging signs where it's getting easier to do the right thing.
The right thing.
Hello, Ocean City. Very nice. That breeze feels great.
It feels wonderful.
Oh, and here we are at the end of the boardwalk in Ocean City. Is that guy really backing out?
Yeah.
Nice. We got a little too lucky there. And there we have it, our final mileage. 520.1 miles from Oakland, Maryland to Ocean City.
Major funding for Electric Road Trip was provided by BGE.
What does smart energy mean to you?
It means choosing our own energy suppliers.
It means keeping lines clear to help prevent outages.
It means new ways to use energy more efficiently.
Smart energy is catching on all over Central Maryland with BGE and you working together.
It means we all save.
Energy is getting smarter every day.
Additional funding was provided by the Maryland Energy Administration. Lowering energy consumption and saving money go hand in hand. Find out how to do both. Visit Maryland Energy Administration at energy.maryland.gov.
I don't know. I hope we've accomplished something by driving all the way from Western Maryland to the Eastern Shore on nothing but electricity, using the limited infrastructure that's already there. Maybe we've helped a family just like us think more seriously, more deeply about how electric vehicles can fit in their daily lives, both economically and environmentally. And hey, isn't that a great place to start?